right, looks like everyone's here. Lucas, good to see you. Tiffany, Diego, let's see, Edmund, Emmanuel, right on. Chase, thanks for coming. All right, let's get this meeting started, shall we? Canon 101. Most of you know why you're here, but not everyone does. So, who are we? We are Canon Entertainment. Canon Entertainment was started by the forethought of a brilliant man, Doran William Cannon, who was a celebrated and infamous screenwriter during the 1960s, all the way up into 2000s. When he died in 2005, luckily I, Aaron Schulman, got all of his intellectual property. So what we're trying to do now is we've got 90 ideas, scripts, screenplays, novels, songs, plays. We're trying to break them into yeses, nos, and maybes. So what we've done is we've got a production team, you guys, Diego, Manuel, Tiffany, Lucas, Edmund, you guys, and of course Chase. We need to read all of these, break them down. What do we want? Out of these 90, we need to figure out 5 or 10 that Hollywood's going to go crazy for, and we're going to make them. And in our production team, we've got Diego, and we've got Chase. So, movies are bought about 24 months before they even begin the marketing. Television shows, about 12 months. We need to get this done right away because we need to start marketing to the over 10,000 contacts that we have direct contact with in Hollywood through email, phone, agents, and people like Chase LA. So, is there any questions? Thanks for coming again. So we've got Canon Entertainment by yours truly, CEO, producer, director, writer, Aaron Schulman. We've also got the guest stars. We can't forget the guest stars. Diego, I think he has a real job somewhere. Tiffany, she's MIA. Lucas, fired him. Jackson, who's Jackson? Okay. Edmund Sack, and Matt, we just crossed his name off. So thanks for coming, and hope you enjoyed the show.
Here on Latino Success today, we have Aaron Schulman, CEO of Canon Entertainment. And today we just want to ask him how he's, what the company's about, because we've been hearing a lot about it. A lot. It's big. It's big. It's gonna soon become a production. It's gonna be a big production company. So, if I were you, smart investors, I would invest on this. I would. Aaron, what do you have to say?
Thank you very much for that excellent introduction, Diego. That was awesome. Canon Entertainment started from the Canon Trust, which was the last will and testament of a Hollywood screenwriter named Doran William Cannon. He wrote from the 60s all the way up till when he died in 2005, and left me with all this intellectual property and all the fun stuff too, like dealing with the widow, and she's not well, for lack of a better word. That's going to be its own mini show, reality TV, probably soon. Or it'll be drawn out in Judge Judy or court or something. But yeah, Canon left 90 pieces of intellectual property. There's drama, there's comedy, there's thrillers, there's war movies. He wrote scripts, screenplays, plays, music, novels, entire novels. And a lot of those never got produced. He was famous for getting some of his movies produced. One of them was Skidoo, written by Bill Cannon and directed by Robert Altman. And then also he did Otto Preminger's Brewster McCloud. And He did some Knots Landings, some Columbos. He actually is an uncredited writer for The Godfather, the opening scene where Michael says, "I love America," and also The Graduate with Dustin Hoffman. I met him from just being a neighborhood kid, and we bumped into each other in Santa Barbara, vis-a-vis Hollywood, and he croaked. What else could I say? And now I've got all this stuff, so I started an entertainment production company, and we're using people like yourself to help us, and hopefully we're helping you as an intern. Excuse me. And
Bless you.
thank you. And we're using our contact database of about 10,000 people in Hollywood and just personal contacts of mine to do an Indiegogo and a Kickstarter campaign and get some of these movies made. Right now we've narrowed it down to 5 out of 16 that we've read. 10 of them or 11 of them were not exactly what we were looking for. They're not in the no piles, but they're in the maybe later pile. But 5 or 6 are in the definite yes pile. So we're going to be working on getting some of those made during film festival or sold, I should say, during film festival, and just get the word out there.
And what about these scripts attracted them so much to you? And what about them would resonate well with audiences and crowd and other companies' attention to buy them?
Well, Bill was a writer's writer. He knew what he was doing. In fact, there's classes that he developed and he taught that are being syndicated across the country. The 2,000 colleges teach his course, Write Like a Pro. So the first thing that attracted me was the writing. So I like comedy and I like drama. I'm not too much into fantasy, so I didn't get attracted to that, but his comedy is really funny. There's a script we're working on right now called Levi. It's the true story of how Levi Strauss got started, and it's a comedy, and I started reading it, and instantly I felt like Mel Brooks was talking to me. I mean, it's like Mel Brooks has to narrate this. There's a lot of Yiddish in it and a lot of slapstick comedy, and that's what I liked about that. The dramas, I like. He's got one called Looking for the Man, and it's basically a story about how he dealt with his father as his father aged and getting Alzheimer's. And I think that's very valid, touching, and can be comedic at times plot line, because a lot of people are living longer and getting Alzheimer's or dementia, and I'm seeing it in my own father, and I think it's important that we bring more awareness to it. Other stuff that got picked out of those 16, I'm trying to think, what were they that were so good? Oh, well, there's a comedy about a brothel, but I don't know if this is the place to talk about that. We won't talk about brothels.
Unless we're in Nevada, because there's brothels.
Yeah, there's definitely brothels in Nevada.
How much money did he leave behind for you?
Well, he didn't leave it behind for me. I'm not a beneficiary. I'm a trustee, so it's more like a job than a gift, and it's been quite difficult, to be honest. To answer your question, there was a first, a second, and a third trustee. He had originally asked me to be first trustee, and my dad said, "No way, don't do it." My dad was a lawyer for 50 years. He said, "Don't do it. It's the worst mistake you can make. You're going to get sued, and it's a waste of time." Well, you do get paid as a trustee, and so that's good. But so I refused to be trustee and agreed to become third trustee, thinking, by the time I'm 60, I'll know what I'm doing. Well, I had lunch with Bill in 2005. He croaked the next day. The first trustee was an attorney who, didn't do a very good job of managing the principal. The second trustee was like, "No thanks," and boom, the widow begged me to become trustee. So I became trustee, and when I took over, I'm trying to think how much money there was in the account. Well, we had a ranch in Lompoc on 2 acres, a geodesic dome, designed by Bruckmeister Fuller. Very cool, beautiful canyon. And I'm trying to think, there was probably about $13,000 in the trust. And then the widow became very combative and would move from the property, and we actually needed, with $13,000 left, we needed to pay the mortgage. So the plan was, you move out of the property, I'll move you into an apartment. You're only one person, you don't need 2 acres, and I'll pay for the apartment, and we'll get the mortgage taken care of on the property. Well, that didn't happen. She was evicted by judge's orders after trying to go after me, and the judge was like, no, you need to go. So they evicted her, but she actually didn't leave. She stayed on the property and rented it to somebody else. So that person had tenants' rights, and my attorneys said, let it foreclose. She's not moving. The other person you can't kick out. You're spending all this money on legal fees. So the trust was down to 0. Well, that opens up a whole other story, which was before Bill died, he felt like he was being discriminated against in Hollywood for age discrimination. So he filed a lawsuit and got the Writers Guild of America to back him up, and sued 8 major studios for age discrimination, and it became the largest settlement in class action history for whatever type age discrimination, but it was like $174 million settlement. And I was thinking, wow, I can take care of Mary, the widow, I can take care of the daughter, Hannah, my childhood friend, I can put some money into selling these scripts. There's going to be at least $500,000 to $1 million, considering that he was the principal, and we had mountains of documentation that were supplied in the courtroom. And we got a check for $33,000 out of $174 million.
What happened to the rest?
Lawyers' fees, and because it was a class action, there was the principals, which was like 5 people, and then I guess 4,000 some odd people ended up joining. Yeah. And flash mob. Could be a flash mob. We're hearing Thriller right now.